way up like we in a club. Fly flashy, grown classy, so turn to the dub. Saturday mornings, no walk of shame, we fresh up. 950 Lounge, that's my guilty pleasure. I don't miss my favorite show, I put everything on hold. Work the baby, even the babysitter know. When 950 come on, don't bother. I'm locked in 10 to 1, no problem.
It's Question of the Day time. Question of the Day is presented by the Rewind Network. Catch 950 Lounge and so many new shows on the Rewind Network. PA broadcasting to the world. The Rewind Network, I believe, is on Facebook and Instagram. I think rewindnetwork.com is coming real soon. But this segment is sponsored by that. It's a young lady here who's a model, who's got a lot of thoughts on the political process and what's going on, and that's what intrigued me about bringing her here today, and I'm glad she accepted. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 950 Lounge and our Question of the Day segment, King Steph.
Thanks for
Strong
having
J.
me.
Now, before we could, you gotta explain the King, because I'm like, somebody asked me, I won't even tell you what somebody told me, asked me, well, King Steph, what does that mean? It was like a Caitlyn Jenner type question.
Yeah,
I almost
that's
slapped
ignorant.
it. And it was very, I was in an ignorant
but
place.
I'm used to it. That's like the number one question on Instagram, yeah. I just feel like the king just shows that you're not secondary to anyone.
No
there
doubt.
were female kings in ancient Egypt, ancient civilization. So I feel like when you say queen, you're like, oh, where's the king? I'm just like, nah, that's
Right, you stand on
it.
your own too.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Exactly.
Respect that. And I really appreciate, I reached out to you on Instagram and about coming on the show. And again, following you now, I started to follow you the last few weeks. You are very passionate, because when I first reached out, it was for something totally different, part of the show, but a different segment. But then I'm like, wow, this young lady really brings a lot of passion and energy, and I see you have a show coming up yourself.
Yes.
So I really wanted to kind of dig into the midterms with you.
Sure.
And we normally open the show up with our political conversation, but I wanted to hold that until you got here.
Well, I appreciate that.
No doubt. Now, obviously,
That's what we do.
Yeah.
it's no secret that after Tuesday, we saw the country is still very divided between some of the elections. Senate races kind of went to Republicans, and the Democrats won back the House.
Yeah.
But your thoughts, you're very animated on Twitter, your thoughts on an overview in your mind on what went on Tuesday between just all the elections, the House, and the new Senate.
Yeah, I think Tuesday, for people who were paying attention and really wanted, the Florida and the Georgia races to be like democratically favored, were disappointed. I was disappointed myself, but I think that you have to kind of look at the bigger picture with everything that went on. Like, we did get control of the House again. There's so many races, so many firsts. I think 100 women went to the House, right?
Yeah.
There's 103
plus.
103 went to the House.
Yeah, first Muslim women,
Yes, out of
first
Minnesota.
openly gay governor, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Yes, Native Americans. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she was on the show before. She's from the Bronx. She's Puerto Rican too, so shout out to her. But she's the youngest person ever to, be. She can't even afford to move there. Did you read that?
Yeah.
Crazy.
We talked about
crazy. So I think that a lot of people were disappointed at first. I know one of my friends went to FAMU, so she was very big on the whole Gillum run. And when it didn't turn out, I mean, they're still recounting, but I think we need to look at the bigger picture and not focus, because those were like red strongholds. And for the race to be that close, you know what I mean? That would have never happened. So I think that when Donald Trump is elected out of office, like, you'll see that these things have really shifted. I mean, he's acting a fool all the time, so you can't help but not. So no, stop.
No, he's not.
No.
All right, so let me get this real clear. When Trump was going for election, there was 4 of us up here. One of us had to go to the other side.
Why?
Why not?
Why?
You have to have that dichotomy in the conversation.
No, you don't.
So
if you're coming from a place of like rational fact and like a platform that actually makes sense, then sure. But if it's completely irrational and based on hate, then you can't be on the other side for anything.
So I took the brunt of sticking up for Trump.
Well,
whenever he
I don't
spoke.
think you was sticking up. I think what you was trying
Making
to say
points.
that right,
Making
exactly.
points.
So that, right.
Not so much to say he
Like
was right or
devil's
wrong.
advocate.
Exactly.
Right.
But he is very wrong.
I
So
mean,
I feel you.
Now he is the devil.
A lot of presidents have their issues. He just has
No.
But see, the
a
thing
lot
with
more issues than everybody
the thing-
else.
Oh no.
The thing with Trump, and I was talking this to backstage the other day about again, the political thing I'm passionate about as well. And I happened to find, I don't know, 2 weeks ago when Trump had, on a Friday, Trump had the Black Republicans for Trump rally at the White House. It was on a Friday.
Yeah.
So I, being the journalist that I am, I did some research on it, and I told Ed, not that people should have their own minds, no matter what, but it kind of bothered me because it seemed like some of the things I was reading by millennials just didn't make sense. Now, if you go back on Trump's history, the 70s, Trump was sued for segregation in his apartments. The Central Park Five.
Yeah.
We can go back in this man's history.
His dad was in the KKK.
Exactly. So to think that, people who are the same hue as me, and then you don't have to have the same thoughts as me, but to understand, just do your research.
Yeah.
And I think that's and even Trump said years ago that if he ever ran for president, he would run as a Republican because Republicans are sheep.
Yeah.
And after 8 years of a black president, I think it was an easy prey. I think it's just like the East Coast, West Coast were acquainted to music. It's just two people who use what's out there to divide us and to get people to come vote.
You gotta understand that if we went by numbers, Hillary would have won by over 5
Well, if it wasn't
million
if it wasn't no
But it's
electoral.
electoral.
He won by
he
cheating.
still has
He
a
won by
problem
cheating.
about that.
So, I mean, it's already been proven that the Russians meddled in the election. He
Yeah.
has close ties with them. This whole thing is just like a
But you
business
know
deal
that's
to him.
coming to the end.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's coming. They said
Well, this is why
right after Thanksgiving.
Well, this is why he made the moves he
Between
did.
after Thanksgiving.
He's supposed to come out with the report.
Oh, that's
No,
different.
but no, it's still unknown if he's going to come out that fast with it because he's still got a lot more things he's going to.
They said it's the end.
I think it's coming to an end because of the move Trump made. He got rid of
Exactly.
Sessions.
Yeah.
It's coming to an
Well,
end.
even if-
This is why he made that move, because the person he brought in
Is against
is
it.
against it, right?
Yeah. But see, right now, if you look at it, Kelly Conway's husband, George Conway,
I like him.
He sat there and said that the move that he made to bring this guy in
Was the worst.
It
was a panic move.
No, besides a panic move, is that it's unconstitutional.
Right.
Because he can't bring this guy in to run the place, and he was never confirmed. So he jumped over all the people that was confirmed to bring this guy in to do it. And that's why that if he makes anything, it can be mute. So that's what's a bad thing about it, is that if he goes and signs on to anything or do anything, even if it was good, can go around and get turned around and said, no,
Right.
we're going to take this out.
I
Because
don't
he's
know.
not confirmed. He's not confirmed.
Yeah, I feel like every day that I open up the news, it's like a reality show versus the government. And
That's
it's become
what it
this
is.
level
It's
of
a circus.
Every time I think it can't get worse, I
It
see
does.
something that he's
Circus.
tweeting. It's just embarrassing. It's really embarrassing.
Well, that's why
honestly.
countries don't want to be bothered with
But
us.
that's why-
they
that's
look
why
at
we-
us and
that's
They
why
didn't want to be
laughing
bothered
at
with us
us.
before,
They
period.
laughing
Just
at
like
us.
with the general outlook of Americans.
Well,
but now it's
Let me
next
take a
level.
page out of Just book just for the sake of conversation. There are people who have voted for him. He whether we want to agree with it or not.
We know that.
Right.
But I think you know what? I think I'm from New York originally. I'm from the Bronx. So I think living here, you are around a certain type
It's a
of
melting
people.
pot,
It's
yeah.
a melting pot. You don't really see racism. I've seen it, but you don't see it on the level that other places. If you haven't
Right.
been to other cities,
Right.
if you've been to big cities, everyone kind of shares the same views as you. I went to NYU and Columbia. All those people share pretty much the same views. You go other places, I talk about this with my friends all the time. Like Middle America is huge.
Yeah.
It's a lot of places that you haven't been where people really think, these people are taking our jobs and they're poor and they're white and they're upset about it.
Where's the caravan now, right?
Yeah, so it's like you're in New York City and you're thinking you live in this bubble and this could never happen, but most of the country, felt this way. I just
Yeah.
feel like now, if you're a person of color and you're supporting Trump, you are severely misdirected. Like
Yeah.
you need to, I can't respect it at all, because how could you support someone who's actively trying to disenfranchise people who look like you or people adjacent to looking like
The
you?
thing is that Trump throws it in your face, and when he throws it, sometimes you're not prepared to catch it.
Right, but
and
then-
that's the difference. Because all the other presidents said things behind the doors, but he just comes outside and just says,
But
I
the answer
disagree
you-
because every time he says some wild stuff, he retracts it. He's just like,
Nice.
just thought he'd
ultimate
catch
liar.
that.
I like that. That was nice.
Yes, I know the rules. Every time he says something crazy,
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, I didn't say that."
Right.
Just recently, with the journalist, the black woman who
Yes.
was asking him the questions, and he
Yes.
was like, "You're right. First of all, you can't be racist against white
He made
people."
a comment yesterday about Michelle Obama because she got a book, and we was talking about this when
Yes.
he came about. She put her family life in danger about the birtherism,
Mm-hmm.
and now he came out yesterday and said, "Well, if you don't like me, I have a problem with your husband by messing up the military." It's like tick for tack, you know.
But that's-
He's
it's
a
like
child.
you gotta think of something to say.
It's like a
you
petty
know?
child.
Yeah.
He is a big child. He is
Yeah.
a big baby. You know, that's the whole thing with him. But
He's an old baby.
But just like the thing that you were saying right now about the blacks right now being for. I mean, I understand you got some black Republicans and everything else, but to sit there.
I don't have a problem with black
No, but I'm
Republicans.
saying, but the people going out there and following him and then praising him and making it sound like he's this great messiah that's doing things. It's not right.
Well, to think that we'd be naive to think that Django and movies like that don't have a real edifact to it.
Steven?
Right, exactly. There are people, and even
It
going
is
back to
how-
slavery,
back in-
there are
Yeah.
people who look at themselves as inferior in their own mirror. And again,
It's self-hatred.
it's self-
When
yeah.
you're the other, you want to align yourself with like the oppressor. So actually, the results were really interesting in Florida, especially because so many Latino men voted
For
Republican.
Trump.
Yeah.
And no, even in the election for
Yeah,
governor.
right.
And if you're looking at it's like 46%, it's almost
Now,
half the percentage.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, and I love my Latino brothers and sisters, but after what happened in Puerto Rico, where
A mess.
U.S. just kind of said, the president said he didn't even think that Puerto Rico was part of, was a U.S. colony.
States.
Right, so what happened in Puerto Rico, and what's happening in our world, what, and again, you're Spanish, I believe, Latin.
I'm mixed, so I'm black, white,
So
and
you
Puerto
know a
Rican.
little bit about, you got some
Oh,
family.
got some- yeah,
You
Well,
got-
I mean-
Thanksgiving is really
Listen,
giving.
So your thoughts on that from a standpoint that, you know, that self-hatred is that got to play in some play here because it's
For
like
sure.
you got, right.
Well, there's a lot of colorism in Latin America, period. And a lot of white Cubans live in Miami and Florida because they came from
Right.
Cuba to escape when people were, shutting
Right.
down all the
Castro's
rich people.
Cuba,
So
right.
when you go to Cuba, I love Cuba. When you go there, it's a lot of black people.
Right.
When you're in Florida, it's a lot of white Cubans. And I feel like a lot of Latinos who are lighter align themselves and identify as white, not realizing or failing or refusing to realize that at the end of the day, your last name is Gomez, homie. They're gonna treat you the same way. Like just because you're white presenting and you can pass sometimes, at
Right.
the end of the day, you are this thing to them. They're
Yeah.
the people that they envision when they're talking about building the wall. They don't know the difference between Puerto Rico and Mexico. They just know that you speak Spanish and they don't like you.
Right.
So I feel like it's very ill-informed to align yourself in this way. It's not gonna help you out in the long run.
Right.
Look how many people voted for Trump thinking that he was going to be a voice for like the poor and the impoverished whites, and then he's cutting all your
He's not
health care. You
poor.
can't pay for your heart
He
medicine.
can't identify
No.
with that.
But
He
the whole
never
problem
been
was
poor.
that a lot of people did not know who he really was. They just know him from The Apprentice. People that's on the other side of the
That should be
other side
reason
of everything
enough to
else,
not
but they
vote
didn't
for
know.
him.
Yeah,
Right?
but true. But that's what people look at.
Yeah.
But they don't know about all the history
He
that he
ran
went through
on
like
a-
we know.
But-
He
Yeah.
ran on
Bring
a
up lot of
dare.
stuff.
He ran on a dare, and he didn't think he
No,
would
I
He
win.
didn't think he was going to win.
Well, I don't think it
he
was
thought
even a
gonna
dare.
win.
I think he just did it just to get more money and to get more.
He wanted to get
publicity.
more money from NBC. So he figured that
I don't
he
think
ran.
that at all. I think he knew exactly what. I think he was the ultimate spin master, and he played the
I'm with you.
situation to its
Yeah, he
complete
did.
total. There's no way he didn't know what he was doing. He played this
I
guy.
didn't say he didn't
this
know what he
guy
was
beat.
doing.
Hold on. This guy beat 17 established. He beat a Bush. So what I'm trying to say is that no, he swaggered. He didn't even spend his own money because the media covered him. He used Twitter. He didn't need to spend no Twitter. Whatever. You say Twitter, I say Twitter.
You say Twitter.
Whatever. I'm sitting next to
Talk about
rodeo.
my words.
But he took that whole situation and swagger jacked it. From a marketing perspective, it was
amazing.
it was amazing.
It's an
But
amazing
what it is
campaign.
that he doesn't mind scorching earth. He's about winning elections. Just like what happened last week. He cared about people. He cared about winning elections.
No. All this thing is about that. But the beginning, if you ever looked at it, yes, he went in. He didn't expect to win.
I don't think he did.
And
17 is
No,
yeah,
no, no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no,
He didn't expect
even
to
on
win.
that, he didn't expect it because when
He
you
didn't
think
saw,
he was
you saw
gonna
him
win.
up there about to take the oath, he's sitting there grabbing Melania's hand so hard because he was nervous as hell. But the whole thing is he didn't expect it. He thought he was just going to go in, just have do what he's going to do, build his brand, and that was
leave.
it.
Reports
And-
came out about that too,
Yeah.
that he wasn't prepared for the level of work. I don't know. He's been golfing more than
And he talked
working.
about Obama
Yeah,
golfing.
he
Yeah,
golfs
no.
more. He spends more time in Mar-a-Lago than anybody else, and then he's costing us more money
Yep.
than any other president
This-
that was out there.
We're talking to King Steph here about politics. I was going to want to restart the thing here. Now, to answer your question about the diversity, let's go to Texas.
Yep.
Now, you got a guy named Raul Cruz, a.k.a. Ted Cruz.
I can't.
I mean, I'm saying so that same
Oh,
mentality.
Raul.
That's his name.
real
That's his
name.
real
Raul.
name.
His name is Raul.
His real name is
Oh, I thought it was
Cruz.
Right.
He's a white Latino.
So from a
That's what he is.
standpoint of
Canada.
it's a whole nother thing.
Even worse.
Yeah, with running against Beto O'Rourke, who became a national sensation,
Yeah.
had LeBron wearing the hat and everything like that. Do you see, even though O'Rourke lost the Senate race in Texas, you see him as a presidential candidate in 2020?
Gillum too.
Right.
I feel like you have these charismatic people coming out who are really standing up for like the new progressive wave of what people want and not ignoring it. You know
Right.
what I mean? So of course, I feel like everything happens for a reason, and they didn't win their races, but look at the national and international coverage that they've gotten. Now people know their names, they know what they stand for.
Gillum has still got a chance.
I hope- I
he's
really
still got
hope
a chance.
so.
But now with Beto, the one thing that he did is that he raised the most money, and then on top of it, if you look at it, Texas itself was really swinging more towards purple anyway than staying dead red. So he did a good thing, because whoever thought that you was going to get that close as a Democrat
Yeah,
in Texas.
for sure.
And so a lot of these races, even though some of them that we did not win and everything else,
They
as
set the
Democrats,
stage.
it's setting up the stage to change it a
Exactly.
little bit more demographics. And then now with the within 2020, when they start doing a redistricting, it's going to change and it's going to move those lines around a little bit more better. And hopefully they just
Yeah, they
keep
need
it
to
neutral.
figure that out.
Hopefully they just do it neutral, and so that
Well,
it
they
doesn't have to
are.
worry about that.
The lines have changed in a lot of states. I
Well,
mean,
they had the
it
force because
changed
it
in
was it was
Pennsylvania.
gerrymandered.
Right, gerrymandered. It changed in Pennsylvania. It changed in Ohio. So you're seeing a lot of that map. And again, because the Northeast is so populated, people moving into Florida, they're moving to Texas,
Correct.
they're moving to Arizona. Nevada was never would always be Republican. They got a Democratic senator. So the map is changing.
So did what you call it, Alabama. They got a couple. They got
Well,
a Democrat in there too.
yeah.
No, I'm just saying, but
But that holds the Alabama thing. I mean, with Jones,
But the whole thing is that you're seeing right now is that now the Republicans are hurting themselves by staying one type of thought and one type of party. Now, when you got even though I get mad when I keep hearing all these reporters talking about what the Democrat message is. I mean, the Democrat message is going to be what it's going to be. But it's just so many different thoughts that people coming out, and that's why people are looking at going to the Democratic Party now. But me and you always talk about the Democrats and everything else. I said, well, the whole thing is you got to go out and actually join and then force them to do what they need to do.
No, my thing to you, Ed, was I'm not pro party for anybody. No, hear me out.
Go ahead.
Hear me out. I know
Go ahead.
this is only a 3-hour show.
Go
We're
ahead.
coming to the end. My thing about Democrats and Republicans is that in the past, I've grown up in New York, like all of us have done. And I've always seen when it's time for election, they're giving out turkeys and coat drives and vote for me. And then 2 months later, I don't see nobody. Now, the Republicans are no better because they have their own issues.
They don't even come.
Right, they don't care about the vote. My thing was, I'm not about party. I'm about the individual. If John Kasich decided to run 2020, I might vote Kasich.
Now, but I kept telling you, and I told you it's your fault for those guys not coming to your neighborhood and not saying anything because you don't go and force them to do so. If you go out and you be part of your community and you start telling them, they're going to want your vote and they're going to keep coming around as much as you need them to come around.
I don't know about that.
No, because some of
I
them
feel like it's your responsibility as a public politician to come to those
Correct,
communities.
right.
You can't just come to those communities because you hear people like
Hooray for
No,
me.
no,
with
but
vote
yeah,
time.
I'm saying, no, but I'm saying, but you have to. But I'm saying, but if you more,
But you also have to participate
Correct.
in your civic duty. If you didn't vote, you have nothing to say
But
to me
the
about
thing is
anything that
that
happened.
we gotta start holding these people
Hold
in
them to
office
it.
to what they say, because
Regardless of
a lot
party.
No,
That's what I'm
regardless of
saying.
part. No, regardless
you
of
gotta
part. Correct.
hold. If I say I'm gonna cut your taxes, damn well I better do what I say, because too many of these. That's why That's why they say politics is a dirty game. They just lie.
Correct.
To get your
But
They
that's
tried to get
what
the same.
I said in the past, that the Democrats
That's
use
why
that to
people
their
don't wanna
advantage
vote no
because
more.
they knew wasn't like if you on the ballot in the Bronx on Tuesday, there was racists. There wasn't nobody on the other side. They're like, nobody's just. They're not even running a Republican. So what I'm saying that we got to keep the politicians in check. I don't care what party.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't
That's
disagree.
what I'm saying.
I never disagree
because
with
there's
that.
there's good on goods both on both sides. The guy from West Virginia, we won his election. He voted for Kavanaugh. So you can't say, Democrats, Republicans.
But listen, I'm not saying all like that. I'm just saying that if you're gonna try to go into a party itself, you need to go ahead and if you're gonna go in, you're gonna go in and try to make sure you make your views and everything else to go through it.
Steph, we got a few minutes. I gotta have you back because we can't. What we want to talk about, we run on the clock, but
We can't cram
We
it
can't cram
I
it
had
in.
so much to say too.
I know that's why
Good conversation.
we're gonna get you back. But real quick, I got a few minutes, and you got a show coming out yourself. I want you to kind of share with our audience what your show will be.
Yeah, it's been in the works for a while. It's called Rare Air. It's a podcast. It's going to just pretty much cover everything. I think for me, I've just taken a little while with it because I wasn't sure about staying here in New York or moving to LA and just all of these different things. But every time I do one of these shows, and thanks again for having me, but just having this platform, being able to talk about things that I'm passionate about, it always just reminds me like, this is what this is what I should
Well,
be
just like
doing.
I shared with H and Todd, we got a network.
Yeah. Well, we will talk.
No doubt. Where can people reach out to you, find more information about you?
All Hail King Steph on Instagram is my most active platform. I'm on Twitter too, Hail King Steph, but Instagram.
And you get more wicked on Twitter. I know.
Yeah, we can curse on Twitter.
Before you go, what made you take King? What was
King, we said that before.
He don't listen.
It's specific.
No, she gave it specifically. Or your words.
I don't want anyone to assume it's some type of secondary role. It also sounds really good.
It does.
The moniker is just, it's good for marketing. But
No, I never heard a woman call themselves King.
And you probably never will.
No, I never.
well,
Stay on the couch.
First time for everything.
Right,
Yeah.
so
King Steph, congrats on your graduation from Columbia.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Major
Thank you.
accomplishment. And
Long time.
I know we're going to talk offline about what we can do network-wise for you.
sure. Yeah.
King Steph, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, can I get it in the morning? Every Saturday I be up, know your name. 950 lounge on